Alright, well, here's the map. We're getting ready to get a deployment here of all the Chinese units for turn 3. You can see I got them already off the board. Looking at them, getting them in groups, but I want to give you a little, let me see here, a little before. Alright, well, here's the after. But you can see on the left are brigades and on the right are divisions. And you're looking at that, you're thinking that can't be right, and you're correct. I mean, it can be. I can put them all there, but I could also put them on a rail line at some spots too. So I don't think that's it. Look at all those divisions. How many? There's five, 10, there's about 30 divisions there. I don't know. It's kind of it's goof part of the game, I guess, but we'll see. I'll show you here because I checked it all out. And on game turn 3, I thought maybe this might be a different number, but it's all 2410 hex with all these units, brigades, and all these divisions. So, but there is a rail movement um, rule, so I'm going to look into that. Plus, also, the Japanese player gets to shoot down as many of these units, or combat factors, I guess, numbers. And the thing that is, with all these, they're all weak. They're all just like, they're divisions, but they're only, of strength of 1. I think the highest strength unit's at 2, so you can kind of see what's going on here with this peasant army. Um, so we're going to roll 1 die. Now, the thing of it is, another thing about the rule, I'll let you see here. Oh, Japanese air interdiction. That tells you that's what we're getting ready to do now. Beginning game turn 3, we roll a dice, and the Chinese player removes that number of combat factors from the current game turn's reinforcement. So we're going to do that. But it does say after the Chinese player declares and conducts any Chinese air support. Well, Chinese air support works like this: the Chinese Air Force was no match, etc., etc. Each time a Japanese air support marker is added to an attack, the Chinese player may attempt to intervene. The Chinese player rolls 1 die, which is fine, but this does not happen before this. It's a reinforcement phase, second Chinese, whatever, phase, and then it goes to the Japanese phase where he put the markers. Now, another thing is here, he's got these new markers, an air marker and an artillery marker that he can use. You don't have to wait for the reinforcement phase for the Japanese player. So that is that. We're going to look at rail movement and see where to place these units. But first, we're going to roll 1 dice, white dice for the Japanese player, and see how many combat factors they shoot down or interdict. And you only get 2. So I'll take that off with this big division, I guess. That'll be it. This is removed for the rest of the game. It says over here. So there you go. That was a very light Japanese air interdiction. All right. So I guess what really happened there was Japanese air superiority came down and was interdicting some of these rail lines. And the result was 2 factors on the first turn. Although I see here we got some 3s. I got these in order, so we'll see what's up, but that might be the strongest unit there out of the whole stack. Alright, well, we are going to go to rail movement and find out how to do that. Oh, let me see here. Japanese overrun, Chinese rail movement, starting with game turn 3. Chinese units arriving by reinforcement may elect to move to any railroad hex in lieu of the reinforcement movement. In doing so, they may start at either Nanking, or hex is their destination. They may not enter a hex during this advancement, so let's put a unit there at Nanking and Hasagula, whatever the heck it is. Alright. Nanking's up there. Where the heck is... Oh, we're down here. So either here or up there at Nanking. I think I'll put a bunch of these right here. I'll make sure I'm doing this right. Now also, I could keep some there. But if I wanted to use rail movement, then I got to find out what the rail movement speed is. So we'll be right back. All right, we got all kinds of stuff going on here. These rules. One says you can place them in any railroad hex that can trace, you know, they can be traced a line of supply, a line of communication, all the way to the west and southern edge, I believe it is, which is fine. Uh, Another one says we got to put them here or here, and then move them along the railroad line. I guess that's eight. Would be eight hexes. Another thing is I might have did wrong is it says the Japanese can move faster on the roads and rail lines. It might have to do with the size of their units. This might be like a big massive like half a million peasants, and this is their units are smaller. So that I'm thinking that's why the Japanese can move faster. But yeah, we're starting to get this straightened out. I want to get these units figured out into strength. I have my little brigades down here, so I'm thinking they're going to be able to move eight. But it does say it's kind of vague. I mean, it's Chinese reinforcements starting game turn 3 may be placed on any railroad hex, which a line of communication can be traced. I mean, just on any hex. They're not moving. Can we try? Because it says also. Like I said, there's a little bit of contradictions here. Where did I see that? Probably underneath movement. Yeah. Chinese rail movement. Oh, come on. Alright. You can lose rail movement. In doing so, they got to start in either Nanking or Hangzhou or whatever it is. So, that does not mean they start at any. They can be placed on any railroad hex. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm going to have to make my own rules up, do some house cleaning. A little bit of a hiccup on the old rules for the decision games, but we're going to figure it out, and we'll be right back. Alright. So basically, I'm figuring it out like this. They got two major rail lines come in through here and come up from Nanking. That's about it. That heads straight to Shanghai. So what it looks like is this and this. Look at all these divisions. I mean, I guess this is what happens. It's about 2 or 3 months after the conflict started. So I guess this is what happens when you have massive population in the Far East. Welcome to Chinese military. All kinds of units, millions of people, but not highly trained, and especially in 1937, pretty much a peasant army with their pitchforks. But there's a lot of them. So no way am I bringing them in on Nanking. I don't know why I do that. These guys are only going to be able to move 8 hexes, so they're not going to get to that far. And this is going to be built up because I got to have. Oops, sorry about that. I got to have the 3 division stacking limits. And what you're going to see is a big old traffic jam of Chinese units moving in, and the same here. I think they can only get up to about here, so that'll give the Japanese player time to definitely react. But we're getting ready to move on out, and we need to observe the 3 division stacking limit. The thing of it is, these are all divisions. And I moved some divisions down here with these guys. Then you got your brigades, probably about 3 or 4 counters high here. But they're going to get ready to move out. And that is what I have basically gotten from you got to read everything. You got a little bit here, a little bit there in the rules section, not everything in one spot. But that is what I am determining it to be. Although it's set, the way when you first look at it, you can think that you could put any of these reinforcements on any of these hexes and not have to count them, but it does say start here, then move on out, and then you got your movement right here. We'll be back. Chinese moving out. All right then, they are on their move, on the rail lines, on their way. Got some divisions up here and some brigades lagging behind. I got a garrison there and an extra unit just in case, but here they are heading along the roads. And what's kind of weird too is that there is a road running right along the rail line the whole way. Well, I guess here it deviates, but yeah, it's both basically a road and a rail line the same way. I don't know, but you still don't get no extra effect. Still got to pay one hex. So other than that, that is it, and we're off to the. Let me see here. Oh, Chinese second operations phase. And in my second operations phase, I gotta move. Do I get to move these guys again? If not, we'll have to find out what's going on. Another thing I need to do is really beef up this bank. I gotta get, this is where my defensive line is, along the old Su Chao Creek. We're back. Important Chinese units placed using B, which is railroad hex, may not move after placement in the reinforcement phase. So these guys here are stuck. Can't move them again afterwards. Which makes sense, I guess. No double movements. We shall see, though. I'm going through these rules. Oh my goodness. Units placed may not move to adjacent to Japanese units, which is fine. By placement in their listed starting hexes with the opportunity to move from that hex in the reinforcement phase, which is fine, or starting game turn 3 may place on there from which the line is defined as blah blah blah. Chinese units be placed in free of Japanese zone control. This is kind of foggy. This may make this limited move. They may make this limited move while the rest of the Chinese army has a regular move or fight in the first operations phase. Huh, what does that? Chinese units placed using B may not move after placement in the reinforcement phase. Alright, well, I'm just going to leave them there. I think that's what's going to happen. Alright, so the rest of the army can move except for my reinforcements, and we're going to do that right now, see if there's any movement we can make to solidify things up. We'll be right back. Alright, this is strategy. You can see that unit I got moved. He bailed on him. Basically, the Chinese player can move one hex either way unless he's crossing a river. I took him up here, this route 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, avoid the river. Let's just again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. The key is going to be this guy here. If they're going to be landing, coming on in here, I need these rivers. They can't go into here. Do I move him over here in a blocking spot? Hoping that on his turn he has to cross the river. Well, he'll come out this way and cross the river. He can't go in the zone of control, so he'll have to come out here. If he wants to get further away from his forces, which he might not want to do, I was maybe going to move him up here and get him across the river to a blocking position. But that leaves this river wide on open. So therefore, we will see what we're going to do with that unit. And I guess I'll end his movement right there. Oh. We'll be back. Alright. Desperately wanting to get somebody here. Or here. I'd say right here. All these units will fan out. I was looking for him, but he can't get down there in time. He's got a couple canals or creeks he's got to cross. The only unit I could think of is him. So we're going to do us a real quick movement here. And it'll be a 3, so it'll be 1, 2, 3 movement factors. And we'll check that out there now to make some more movements up around here, because I don't want them getting free access. But I'll let them come in up here. How's the deal with these guys? It's all about Shanghai. And I need to get this hex right here. Automatic victory. Japanese want me out of every hex surrounding that hex, which are these hexes right here, and it's their automatic victory. Till then, we're collecting victory points. Uh, Not done with the Chinese movement yet. We'll be back. I think I'll end them right there. I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for the Chinese movement phase. My second movement phase. Got that place blocked. Ready for any more invasions. I'm sure the Japanese will respond, but right off the top of my head, if I was going to play it, I'd probably play it like that. We will be back.